Welcome to the Wednesday stream. Hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday morning. Hey, Black Foxy and Madame Defarge, how's it going? Hope you're doing all right. Hope everyone's getting ready to have an awesome chill New Year's, as we have one more day before New Year's Eve. Hey Polymorpheus, how's it going? Do I like D&D? No, I've actually never played D&D. Pretty good, just woke up. Same. Same. I actually just woke up I would say about almost an hour ago. I'm chilling, excited that I at least I'll have a semi-long weekend. Although I am still pretty salty that that they're not giving us New Year's Eve off, which makes absolutely no sense. But okay, sure. Is that coffee? Yes, coffee. The drink of the gods themselves. It is what provides me sustenance to be able to get up. So today we do have a couple of headlines. I honestly thought it was going to be a little bit more quieter, but hey, there was still plenty of headlines to go over. So let me go ahead and bring some of those up here. Hey, come on. There we are. In a very, very cool international news, you keeping tabs on the general strike in India? No. Was there any updates to that? Because I know that they were having a huge, massive general strike. I think it was to the tune of millions, was it not? Did they ever get any demands met, or is there I barely see it on the news too. To be quite honest, I mostly focus on what happens here. Let's see. Farmers protest live updates. Consensus on 2 out of the 4 issues reached between both sides, says Tomar. The next meeting on January 4th. Wow. So, yeah, it turns out it seems to be working for them as they're getting negotiations. The 6 rounds of talk between, this is the last one from today. The 6th round of talks between the center and protesting farmer unions has concluded after the meeting. Union Agriculture Minister Narendra Singh Tomar said a consensus has been reached between the two sides out of the two out of the four issues. So yeah, they're negotiating. The strike was significant enough for them to hold negotiation meetings. So hey, U.S. media is hush hush about it because they don't want Americans to copy them. Yeah, well, sadly, labor here isn't. Sadly, labor here isn't really equipped to do or organize something like that. In my opinion, I mean, let's be honest. Union membership is disastrous in this country. Um, Something to think about would probably be to expand union membership and get more and more people organized. Then something like this will be easier to coordinate. Because, I mean, yeah, sure, strikes happen here all the time. Strikes happen with that United Auto Workers. I think there was like a teacher strike and things like that. And historic strikes were like to the tune of thousands of people. That can easily be way more if more people got organized and more people normalized union membership, right? Unfortunately, some of these large corporations, looking at you, Amazon, have dedicated their have dedicated essentially anti-union teams to union bust. My union gave up the right to strike in favor of an evergreen clause so we can keep the pay and benefits when the governor refused to sign it. When the governor refused to sign a contract, we've been without a contract for 2 years now. Yikes. Yeah, like union membership and labor has been like pretty much undercut. I mean, I've told this story before. I mentioned the word, I mentioned the word union, and I kind of got the side eye at one of my jobs. It's just like taboo. Like it's almost taboo. It's kind of strange, yeah. But good on them, and hopefully they continue to get negotiations done. In more international news, I figured that I should cover this because this is pretty big in my opinion. Argentina's Senate approves historic bill to legalize abortion. Argentina's Senate approved a bill to legalize abortion Wednesday in a historic vote seen as a major victory for abortion rights advocates in the Catholic majority country. Can you imagine a Catholic majority country voted to legalize abortion? That's pretty big. The Senate voted 38 to 29 to give millions of women access to legal terminations under a new law supported by President Alberto Fernandez. The margin was expected to be much smaller, but hey, there you go. Congratulations, Argentina. Hey, Zoo, how's it going? Yes, this is very huge. While at the same time, Poland is coming back from it. Meaning, did they ban abortion or? Yeah, this is good. It helps that Pope Francis is kind of liberal in many ways. Yeah, that's also very true. I mean, he's kind of been, and oh, they're rebanning abortion. Yikes! Go past that. Hope you're doing all right, by the way. Oof. Yeah, I mean, like considering, because I'm really not into, organized religion in the manner of like these Abrahamic religions. I just that's just my personal opinion. I just really don't like these type of religions. Um, but out of the out of all of the possibilities, this pope is kind of like on the more chill side, considering that he said that climate change is real, we should do something about this. He said things like um gay people are should be allowed to marry, and that has no bearing on them getting into heaven or something like that. I believe he said something to that effect. um so hey, I guess out of all the possibilities, Pope Francis is pretty chill in considering. As of November 27 of 2020, abortion is banned in Poland except under the following circumstances: when the woman's life or health is endangered by the continuation of pregnancy, when the pregnancy is a result of a criminal act, when there's high probability of severe or irreversible fetal impairment. Hey, wow. Incredible. Thailand protests. Pro-democracy movement hits pause on demonstrations, but for how long? Rallies have evaporated from Bangkok streets, leaving commentators to ask, hey, stop it, stop it, to ask whether the change is an indicator of smart tactics or a loss of cohesion. And also divisions within inside the coalition of student labor, LGBTQ, and youth groups are the direction ahead, but the momentum continues online. Yikes. Outside a Bangkok police station, a pro-democracy protest leader, Atavon Wapat, counts on his fingers the charges against him. 8, no, maybe 9, he said, listing the likes of sedition. What? Sedition for protesting? Unlawful assembly and the once dreaded royal defamation law. Yikes. That's all good. We need to, it's interesting to see what's going on in the world. Actually, I would highly recommend that. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with touring news. Touring news does fantastic international news and fantastic economic breakdowns. But yeah, this is always important to kind of have a glimpse of what's going on, outside of here. If he's convicted, he faces long years in jail, just like many of the cast of young political newcomers who have been on the fast track into erudite, fearless leaders of a reform movement that has changed Thailand. Interesting. That's right. Hey, Mammy. Hey, Memmius, how's it going? Right? Who needs geopolitics? Only America exists. USA! 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 Sedition is a common crime used by the state justice for demeaning the labor movement. Oof. In the 6 months since small rallies inside university campuses burst into the streets, they have tested, provoked, debated, and ridiculed the entire structure of the Thai power, its army, its out-of-touch politicians, tycoons, and most extraordinarily, its king. Ooh. So to my understanding, like, going after the king or being a dissenting voice against the king is like a super, it's like a super no-no in Thailand, is it not? Like contradicting the king or going against the king is like a very, very, very bad thing to do over there. Thailand activists stage crop top protests against Le Majesté, I guess the Majesty's law. In return, they have faced police water cannons, tear gas, angry royalist mobs. What? Who? and an avalanche of charges against their leaders, including for lèse-majesté, Section 12 of the Thai Criminal Code, which carries between 3 and 15 years for charge of oh yeah, there it is. There it is. So you can't. Oh man, 3 to 15 years for insulting the monarchy. Oh boy, yikes! Imagine getting 3 to 15 years for insulting the president. Oh man, yikes. That's pretty cringe. Lèse-majesté is a French law term for disrespecting the king. Okay, that makes sense. I thought it just meant the majesty. We would all be in prison. True. True. Oh man. Hey Dustin, how's it going? As a citizen, that makes me feel so much safer. Can you imagine if that? Oh my goodness. No. Oh. While authorities wielded wielded the law today, the future belonged to the young, said Atapon, a satirist. Is it satirist? Satirist? Who mercilessly takes down Thailand's establishment, have made him a protest pinup. The lèse-majesté law might just have been the last weapon that the establishment has to silence those trying to speak truth, he told This Week in Asia. But the cat's already out of the bag. There's no more fear. Simply put, Thailand will never be the same again. Well, I'm always in favor of more democracy. So this is interesting. I didn't know this was actually. I am completely clueless as to what was going on here. Yeah, we don't need to skip too far to figure that one out, Mammoth Waffle. It was used to imprison the journalists. It was used to imprison the journalists, ABD, the voices of the people mostly. Yikes. Yeah, so I had absolutely no idea that this was going on in Thailand, and yeah, I support any pro-democracy protests. The Senate vote, okay, so really quick summary. Argentina's Senate approves historic bill to legalize abortion. So good on them. The Senate voted 38 to 29 to give millions of women access to legal terminations under a new law supported by President Alberto Fernandez. The margin was expected to be much smaller. Massive crowds of abortion rights activists and anti-abortion campaigners gathered outside the palace of the Argentine National Congress to await the results, which came in the early hours of the morning after an overnight debate. Supporters of the bill greeted the news with loud cheers and, in some cases, tears of joy. Gabriela Giacomelli, whose two sisters had illegal abortions, had called the scene very emotional. We have been fighting for years, Giacomelli said. I see young people now, though. I hope they never have to abort, but if they do, now they can do it safely. That's one of the main arguments, right? First of all, no government should ever tell its people what they can and cannot do with their bodies, period. Second of all, when you do things like this, you only make it less safe for the women. So what is this is like the same reason as to why making drugs illegal, right? Because then you force people to get drugs that are potentially more dangerous. They have no idea what's in it. There's no regulation. So yeah, it's the same kind of logic behind it. Another example of criminalizing opposition politics group. Pro-democracy at the same time need to be examined. It does not mean the same thing from one country to another. Five orders of basil noodles or curry. Ooh. Well, in my okay, so clarify. Pro democracy just means pro democracy to me. I mean, I don't know what other meaning it could have. Meaning, I want more freedom for people, right? So if you have a government suppressing labor, like in India, which created a large strike, the largest in history, to the tune of millions of people, I would consider that a little bit more of a pro democratic movement. If there's people protesting a law, if there's people protesting a government that can literally jail you 3 to 15 years for insulting the monarchy, yeah, that's a pro democratic movement, right? I mean, what are you talking about? I, wa- I want to live in a society where my elected leaders, I can criticize them. Bangladesh moves nearly 2,000 Rohingya refugees to remote island. Wait, why? Four Bangladesh Navy ships carried at least 1,800 Rohingya refugees on Tuesday left the Chattogram port for Bashan Char Island in the Bay of Bengal, amid concerns that many of the persecuted refugees were coerced into relocated to the flood-prone island. The Rohingya refugees who have been sheltered in camps in Cox's Bazar since fleeing the 2017 Myanmar military clampdown were taken to Chattogram in its buses on Monday. Ooh. What does this mean, though? The government insisted that the persecuted refugees want to start new lives on Bashan Char, where 1,600 others arrived this month. The South Asian nation eventually wants to relocate the 100,000 Rohingya to the remote island in a move to decongest the refugee camps, which shelter approximately 1 million Rohingya. Hmm. Hmm. The island is unsafe and will flood during rainy seasons. Yikes. I miss having a reliable Thai restaurant. Hey, you can always order, right? I assume. It's almost like all our wars are driving people to other countries to crash their economic system or something. Well, we don't exactly have the best track record on that. You have some example of demonstrators calling themselves pro-democratic who are actually very right-wing, like inform Russia. And you have other countries that they're left. Pro-democratic ones are very weird, for example. Also here in the Thai democracy movement demands, as per Wikipedia, dissolution of the House and fresh legislative elections, ending intimidation of the people, drafting a new constitution, abolition of the military-appointed Senate, amendment of royal prerogative and the last Majesté law, increasing civil, economic, and political rights. Yeah, that seems fair to me. Getting rid of that law seems priority number one. Increasing civil, economic, and political rights. Yeah, I'm in favor of that. Sure. I'm absolutely in favor of that. Yeah, so if this is true, and they're just sending them to this place, geez. The UN said it had not been involved in the process, while rights organizations say the government used cash incentive as well as intimidation tactics to force Rohingya to accept the relocation offer. Yeah, this is true, and this is like a cyclone and flooding prone island. I'm not sure what exactly the I'm not exactly sure why they would relocate here, right? I mean, we all know that the effects of climate change is going to be very, very severe, and places like this, like, these type of islands, will be one of the first. Will be one of the first to get screwed by climate change. As it stands, um, if this island is already prone to cyclones and flooding, can you imagine what 5-10 years? This doesn't seem very good to me. More than 700,000 Rohingya took shelter in the camps in Bangladesh in 2017 after a deadly clampdown by the Myanmar military that the UN said could be genocide. Yeah, this was pretty bad. I did hear about this. All right, so again, really quickly, Argentina has approved a bill to legalize abortion. The law will legalize abortion in all cases up to 14 weeks of pregnancy. Abortion in Argentina, South Africa's third most populous country, is currently only permitted when a pregnancy results from rape or endangers the life or health of the woman. In all circumstances, abortion is legal, punishable by 15 years in jail. Ooh, yeah, so I'm glad they overturned that. Melsky said that the move sends a strong message of hope to our entire continent that we can change course against the criminalization of abortion, against clandestine abortions, which pose serious risk and health to the lives of millions of people. True. Both the laws passed Argentine Congress today and the enormous effort of the women's movement to achieve this are an inspiration to the Americas and to the world. There you go. Congratulations, Argentina. So this is something to pay attention to, because I'm pretty sure that this is going to come back and create even further problems down the road. Oh man, this is I can't it's unfathomable. It's unfathomable how bad the economic response and the economic relief has been to try to really kind of handle this situation. Small and mom and pop businesses that took PPP loans may face a surprise tax bomb. Cool. While federal COVID Relief Act bill addresses a key concern for small businesses with forgivable loans, these firms could still face a tax hit, this time on their state returns. In addition to pledging stimulus checks to American households, providing a $300 boost to unemployment benefits, the new COVID bill offers aid to ailing small businesses in the form of a second forgivable loan from the Paycheck Protection Program. Generally, borrowers may be eligible for PPP loan forgiveness if at least 60% of the proceeds go towards payroll expenses. Partial loan forgiveness may be available to those who fall short of the threshold. Amounts that aren't wiped must be repaid and subject to an interest rate of 1%. Okay. Lawmakers also settled a long-standing issue in the relief bill. It allows PPP borrowers to claim tax deductions for the expenses they covered with the forgiven loan proceeds, a move that the Treasury Department and IRS previously said it would constitute double dipping because forgiveness is tax-free. Small businesses shouldn't celebrate just yet. So yeah, this is gonna, like, again, the real small businesses, the mom and pop shops, if you're gonna really screw them in this way, I mean, this is unfathomable to me. It's beyond ridiculous. So the problem here is that, yes, maybe the federal government isn't going to come back to collect or claim this as a deduction, but your state tax returns might nail you in the future. Oh man, unresolved year and tax planning problems are beginning to arise, including the fact that states may block PPP borrowers from claiming deductions on state tax returns or from having balances wiped free of taxes. There remains significant uncertainty, said Gerald Walchak, vice president of the state projects at the Tax Foundation. Many states have yet to clarify what their position is. When it comes to tax planning, the federal code is the only part of the story. States will vary in their approach to the Internal Revenue Code, including whether they adopt the changes to the federal law. Some states, like New Jersey, follow their own rules on determining income. Others conform to the federal code on a so-called static or rolling basis. Under static conformity, states adhere to the code as as of a specific date. Under rolling conformity, they adopt changes to the tax code as they occur. These differences can lead to discrepancies between how your income is defined on your federal income tax returns versus your state return. Oh my god, this is so... Ugh. Okay. These differences can lead to discrepancies. Yep. This could also mean that states take a different tack when interpreting COVID relief measures, including potentially disallowing tax-free PPP forgiveness or blocking deductions tied to PPP. I mean, this is so frustrating. Why is this? Why is this so complicated? Why is this? Why does it need to be unnecessarily complicated? I don't get it. This doesn't have to be this complicated. If a state is really pushed on money, it's someplace they can go," said Ed Zollers, CPA and partner at Thomas, Zollers and Lynch, in Phoenix and an instruction Kaplan Financial Education. If you need to raise money, find something not to conform with on the federal side. Currently, California doesn't allow deductions for expenses paid with PPP loans. Per state law, businesses there will have to reduce their deductions on their state returns. North Carolina excludes forgiven PPP loans from taxable income, but the business owners can't deduct those covered expenses. Jesus. It remains to be seen how other states will proceed, which will throw a monkey wrench into year-end tax planning for small businesses. It makes the situation more complicated for entrepreneurs who will still need to pay estimated taxes even if they go on extension and wait for greater clarity from the state. "We need the state to tell us what they're going to do," said Dan Heron, CPA and principal of Elemental Wealth Advisors in San Luis Obispo, California. "Many people would rather hold on to the money and pay it later when they have an idea of how much they owe. That money is cash for their business." Yeah, so like this is a nightmare. I foresee like a lot of confusion. I mean, I'm confused just reading this as to what exactly am I supposed to do, and it's again like the working class, the middle class, and the real mom and pop small businesses are what makes this economy go. These people are the ones that seriously need the relief. So why is this so complicated, right? Like if you're giving them payment protection loans, just let it go. That are already planned to be unforgivable, already planned to be forgivable anyways. Like what is the point of making all this convoluted twists and turns to the tax codes? All right, folks. Shifting gears a little bit. So, Darknet 100% called this. This is exactly what Trump wanted. McConnell moves to combine Trump asks in potential poison pill for stimulus checks. So Donald Trump wanted these stimulus checks. Yeah, sure, great, awesome, cool. But there's caveats to it. There's a condition to it. And that condition, as Darknet called it, hey Elio, how's it going? Hey Wiz, how's it going? As Darknet called it, he wanted that tied to the repeal of liability protections of Section 230 and an establishment of a voter fraud investigation committee or something like that. Oh man, it's incredible with this guy. It's incredible. Incredible. Yeah, you can have your $2,000 check, but no internet for you. Yep. Wow. Well, props to Darknet. They called it pretty good. They're pretty spot on that one. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell introduced legislation Tuesday to combine two additional demands from President Trump to add an expansion of direct stimulus payments as part of the COVID relief package, raising Democratic concern the pathway for expanded stimulus payments would soon be short-circuited. Right. So this is a plan, all right? This is the plan. This is the plan. You asked for 2,000 expansion of the checks, right? You claim that you want to be helping the people, right? You claim that you want to um, give people more stimulus, which they desperately need. At this point, you might as well say that these are like borderline survival checks, right? These people, we desperately need it, right? Um, but, but, I'm gonna insert clearly obviously things that are not going to pass, right? Like the repealing of Section 230 and the establishment of a voter fraud investigation committee. These things aren't going to fly. So then when they don't fly, Trump can then go, hey, I tried giving you guys money. It's the Democrats who are blocking it, right? I tried giving you $2,000, but the Democrats are the ones who are at fault here, right? So that's the game plan. That's the political football that they're playing with people's lives. The Kentucky Republican shortly because they try because and this is very clear. The House. Okay, so the president talked about $2,000, right? The House said, "Hey, let's do it." The House passed a standalone bill, has nothing to do with anything else. A standalone bill, no poison pills, no added, nothing, of expanding the check to $2,000. That was the plan. That was what Trump wanted, right? It was sent to the Senate. The Senate immediately rejected it, but now they're infusing it. They're infusing it with this ridiculous nonsense that Trump wants attached to it, with repealing of liability protections and the establishment of a commission to do studies on voter fraud that have yet to be proven. The Kentucky Republicans, shortly before adjourning the Senate on Tuesday afternoon, introduced a bill that would combine increased direct payments with the repeal of online liability protections, known as Section 230, and the establishment of a commission to study voter fraud. We went through this whole thing in 2016, right? We had a federal commission for voter fraud that found nothing and had to be disbanded a couple months later. The latter two issues have been significant drivers of Trump's ire in the wake of his general election loss, the latter which have had zero evidence presented to at this point. That's right. You can have your $600 check and maybe jail time for streaming video games. Oh, this is great news. This is great news. Poll finds many believe QAnon and other conspiracy theories. Cool. We'll get to that one in a second. While the move doesn't guarantee McConnell will bring this bill up for a vote, it provides a substantive option should time and political winds press the chamber in that direction. It's also one that would be all but certain to fail to garner votes for passage. Right, and that's the point, right? That's the exact same point. That's the exact same play. You make this bill, right? You make sure that it has these ridiculous things that you know aren't going to pass, and then you blame the other side for not, and then you tell the American people that it's their fault that they didn't get the 2,000 direct payments. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer of New York called the bill a cynical gambit and said it would serve as a blatant attempt to ensure the 2,000 direct payments were not signed into law. Yeah, that's the idea. I don't think they really want to move in this direction. But McConnell's move was crucial for several reasons in the final chaotic days of the 116th Congress. With the two politically endangered GOP senators just days away from runoff elections, Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue of Georgia, announcing their support for Trump's push for 2,000 checks, McConnell has found himself in a position he spends the vast majority of his time as a Republican leader trying to avoid, navigating a divided conference. Republican Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, Josh Hawley, are also behind the push to expand the payments, with Hawley playing a central role in pushing the issue to the forefront. Right, so, like, The American people want an expansion of these stimulus checks. This is clear. There is bipartisan support for the expansion of these stimulus checks. So what exactly is the problem here? Jesus Christ, like this is so frustrating. Like what exactly is the problem here? There's bipartisan support, and the American people you're supposed to represent are behind it too. Incredible. The group is hardly a majority, however, aides say a significant number of the Senate Republicans have problems with the House-passed measure to increase direct payments. Senator Patrick Toomey, a Pennsylvania Republican, called the direct payments, given their size and scope, not sound economic policy. Hey, you know what's not sound economic policy? Letting this economy just go down the tubes and just essentially like destroying tens of millions of people's lives. Yeah, it doesn't sound really economically sound to me. Senator John Cornyn, a Texas Republican and ally of McConnell, said he was opposed to the standalone direct payments increase, said that given the amount Congress has appropriated in COVID relief at this point, the more focus should be placed on those efforts. Wait, what? What are you talking about? What? You do realize that solving the economic problem and solving the COVID problem are like intertwined, right? You can't. Okay. This is just opportunistic on part of the House. According to a set of House Democrats, they've got an issue, and unfortunately seems to be drowning out all the other good stuff we've done. What are you talking about? Opportunistic? The president mentioned these things, right? Like I understand that he wanted extra caveats with that, but he did say he supported $2,000 checks. So what is the impetus here? Mitch is a problem? Well, no, not the only one, but a big one here. True. By tying all Trump's demands together, particularly with policies Democrats are almost ready to oppose, McConnell gave himself an option that, should he bring it to the floor, would give Republicans something to vote for with little risk it could become law. Imagine having playing political football with this, and at a time where people are struggling, and this is your solution. Ridiculous. If we start adding poison pills to the 2000 payment bill, that's just another way of telling the American people that this body doesn't support the 2000 payments. True. I mean, I don't think they ever really did. Senator Chris Murphy, a Connecticut Democrat, said of the additional provisions, it's intentionally set up to fail, so that then they can say, well, it's not our fault. McConnell, with this alternative bill, is tying all of Trump's demand into a single piece of legislation. While aides say it's unclear if the bill will actually come up, there remains a possibility that the 116th Congress comes to an end with no action at all. Should it do so, it would serve as a way to address the president's issue and give the two Georgia Republican senators in a tight runoff something to vote for. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, because the Democrats can also spin this. The Democratic Party can also spin this and say, hey, they didn't get it done. Vote for us. We'll have the majority. We'll get it done. So, I mean, I don't know. Doesn't seem like sound political strategy. It's already, the race in Georgia is already close as it is. Very close. This is a coin toss at this point, I would say. Why doesn't Congress take a pay cut? Whoa, slow down, Alio. Congress taking a pay cut? No. They appropriated an extra $25 million for raising salaries. Why would they ever take a pay cut? Because that might offset the extra money the representatives are getting in the COVID bill. True. But seriously, like, in an ideal world, oh man. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get glasses one of these days. Whew. In an ideal world, Congress would be helping the people. At my local bookstore, there was a series called Queens of Resistance. It had Liz Warren, Maxine Waters, and Pelosi and AOC. What? Hey, Chris Supreme. You reckon he has any nice garden? No. Asking for a friend? No. Although, I'll have to admit, I mean, you know, if things continue down this road, I can't believe this man still has a job. I cannot believe this man is still Senate Majority Leader. But this may be a selling point that, hey, I know that Kentucky still voted for Mitch McConnell. However, if we can strip his Majority Leader role, that would actually be a net positive. That would actually be a net positive. Reminds me of how Texas was in 2018 with margins of error. Yeah. I mean, this race is going to be super close. It's going to be all coming down to turnout. Absolutely. Please, if you live in Kentucky and Mitch McConnell is your representative, absolutely send them angry petitions. Call your Congress. Call your Senate. Absolutely, call your Senate. Call your Congress. Even without a vote, the existence of the bill itself would appear to address Trump's demands from a Sunday statement that the Senate start the process for a vote that increases the check to $2,000, repeal Section 230, and start an investigation into voter fraud. By introducing the bill and moving it to place it on the Senate calendar, McConnell has technically started that process. McConnell himself has appeared to allude to the very specific language in his earlier Senate floor remarks, noting that the chamber would begin a process to address the president's demand. Oh, wow. Jesus. This early in the morning? I already got my stimulus check? No way, man. How's it going? Sorry, we had a spamming troll in the chat. Hey, thanks for the tier 1 gifted sub. I appreciate that, Ben. Oh no, I missed the troll. Trust me. Yeah, trust me. This person. Whew. If the troll is still watching, may I suggest you check out Life After Hate? Yeah, maybe have some introspection in your life one day. Maybe have some serious introspection in your life one day, and yeah, literally do anything else. True, actually, just saying. Hey, Thick Zeke, how's it going? By introducing the bill, yeah. So okay, great. So Trump never was really interested in in actually raising the $2,000 check, right? What he wanted was a fallback, a cushion to say, hey, I'm trying to do all these things for you, and they won't let me. I'm trying to give you money. I'm trying to raise it to 2,000, but they won't let me. When actually what's going on is that he's purposely trying to get these things that he knows it's not going to fly. And then pin it on the house. Trump, however, has continued to beat the drum of increased payments on Twitter and to attack Republican leaders. Unless Republicans have a death wish, oof, And it's also the right thing to do. They must approve the 2,000 payments ASAP. Okay. I mean, like, sure. Except he has these caveats attached to it. $600 is not enough. Also, get rid of all. Aha, here it is. Also, get rid of Section 230. Don't let big tech steal our country, and don't let the Democrats steal the presidential election. Get tough. So yeah, no, this is nonsense. This is cover for him. Let's be very clear. This is cover for him because the House already showed, um, the House already showed good faith by placing a standalone bill, nothing attached, no BS, no BS. Um, Raising that to 2,000, sent it to the Senate, they rejected it. And now they're trying to negotiate, because that's not a good faith negotiation, using things that are complete poison pills to blame it on to play political football, essentially. Yeah, I know, Mono. Like to be honest, he was never really interested in doing any of this. Because we saw he asked for 2,000, he got it, but now it's a problem because he wants that little. Also, additionally, I need this, right? This is so frustrating because, like, imagine when he says Republicans have a death wish, he's not saying anything controversial. They're looking like Scrooge McDucks. Yeah, no, actually, unironically, like, they are gonna look really bad. And things like this could cost the Senate. When he says Republicans have a death wish, they're looking for. Yeah, exactly. I think he realizes how bad this looks to a lot of people, though. Well, no. Trump thinks he's playing chess. No, I think that honestly, it's possible that all he's doing is just really big, like being big mad. Um, I honestly think that, like, he's just really big mad that he lost the election and is just like burning everything down on his way out, burning the entire GOP on the way out. I mean, it's quite possible. Hey, Wing the Ultimate Nug. There is so much bribery in politics. The politicians have started to bribe the citizens. Not even like it's not even a bribe. I mean, I guess it's like a weird version of a bribe, but like, whew, like these aren't like things that are optional, right? I mean, people are struggling. Yeah, he's just big mad that McConnell didn't make him president. That's what I'm thinking, Dustin. I genuinely don't understand the strat that the GOP is going with here. Like, they're gonna universally say that this 2K in the middle of a pandemic is the first step towards communism. Yeah, he's playing Connect 4 on a chessboard. That's what he's doing. There is no strategy. Like, I think that they really just are so lost, that they don't realize, like, if people don't get the relief that they need, if people start going homeless, if people start losing everything, I mean, what Trump is doing is trying to get through some of the things he would have done in his second term with no opposition, but he didn't get that wish, so he's flailing. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's honestly just big mad. I honestly think he's just big mad, and is just doing whatever he can to sabotage the GOP on his way out, particularly McConnell. Who knows? Honestly, who knows with this person? Like, for all we know, Trump is just doing random stuff. Hey, Heat, how's it going? I don't think Trump has any values except that he wants to be popular. Yeah, like, for all we know, it's just him trying to, like, garner attention and just, like, paint himself as, like, the man of the people. Not too bad. That's good. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, pretty much. So just to kind of like transition into that, into this article, up to 40 million Americans could lose their homes if the Congress doesn't act. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not like this isn't the time to play politics, right? This isn't the time to play political football with people's lives. 10 months into the pandemic, renters owe an estimated $7 billion in back rent, and if the hold is not extended, up to 30 to 40 million Americans could lose their homes. The CDC has put a temporary hold on all evictions to protect public health and prevent the spread of COVID. However, more coronavirus relief spending is again getting bogged down in Congress, and many Americans are already getting warnings that they'll be tossed out if lawmakers don't act. In Houston, Texas, more than 17,000 evictions have been initiated since the pandemic began, and 300,000 more could be coming if the federal moratorium is allowed to expire. Local renters there visited a church on city's east side hoping for legal advice on how to avoid evictions. It's just out of my hands, basically, one renter said. David Flores told CBS News. Flores' construction work has dried up and his wife's unemployment has run out. Whatever little income we do come across, we have to separate it between whatever bills we're able to pay or whatever little gas we're able to put in the vehicle. As cries for rent relief grow louder, experts say eviction is not just an economic issue. A recent study published in the SSRN Science Journal found that over 400,000 additional coronavirus cases and 10,000 deaths were linked to the expiration of various state eviction protections over the summer. Yeah. Diane Yentel, who leads the National Low-Income Housing Coalition, equated housing to healthcare. I think it's very clear what the consequences will be if Congress doesn't provide an extended eviction moratorium and substantial rental assistance, and that it has and that is a tsunami of evictions. So again, let me be very clear. A lot of these places, a lot of these places, you will owe back rent. You will owe back rent, and I don't understand like who thought this who thought that just freezing up rents without deploying some type of like fallback plan for all the back rent. I don't understand who didn't think about this, because like now what's going to happen is honestly, people aren't able to afford 1 month of rent because they're out of work or whatnot. What exactly is going to happen when they owe like 9 months of back rent? They're going to get yeeted out of their homes anyways. Wow. Cool. Nice meme. Maybe they thought it was like a mole. If you freeze it, it just goes away. Yeah, like I seriously, like who in their right mind? Like, okay, again, I don't pretend that I'm some kind of like, I don't pretend that I'm some kind of like economic guru or that I know anything about economics in any serious manner. Um, but I do have sometimes, sometimes I do have a little bit of common sense, believe it or not. Believe it or not, sometimes I do have a little bit of common sense, and like common sense dictates that if you don't take care of this, and you didn't put in some type of protection for all of these back rents that are due, that are coming up. So as soon as that is gone, as soon as all those moratoriums expire, as soon as all these moratoriums expire, there's a lot of cases already. There's a lot of cases that are already in court. Just because of the pandemic, the court hasn't been open. They haven't been taken any of these cases because of the moratorium evictions as well. So, but you can still file these things, right? How did they not think this one through? Like, did they just think that just freezing like rent was gonna work? What about mortgages? Like, even if you're not like a landlord, even if you're not a landlord and you're a homeowner, like you're just owning your own home. Like you're not like a landlord. Like what do you why didn't they think about this? This is like basics. You think they have you think they haven't thought it through? Yeah, I mean I can't fathom somebody somewhere looking at this and being like, right. Yeah, I'm sure, Mono. I'm sure. But like, I don't know. 40 million people out on the street is gonna create quite the the brouhaha. Isn't is that not true? Hey, Lasu, how's it going? And furthermore, like this isn't like this trickles down into so many other problems. They don't really have the social capital to fight back. Yeah, I mean, well, if yeah, they don't. Once you're homeless, you're screwed. But like God, this is so frustrating. So then, like, what is exactly your purpose? You're not representing anybody out there. It's not like we live in a consumer-based economy, right? Like, what's gonna? Oh my God, this is so frustrating. This is so backwards. Many will go to worse apartments and take shittier jobs. Yeah, that's not exactly ideal either. Expect more actions like the recent Red House one. Yeah, I mean, Washington Post just put out an article saying that we shouldn't raise the checks from 600 to 2,000 because restaurants are closed, so no one will spend the money. What? Okay, is somebody gonna tell them? Is somebody gonna tell them? Oh boy. Is some I want to tell them. Is somebody gonna tell them? Because I want to tell them. It turns out that restaurants aren't the only businesses left, and furthermore, um, and furthermore, they have takeout. A lot of restaurants are actually alive because they're able to do takeout or because they're able to do a delivery service. You're taking what? What are you talking about? All rent should be rent to own, and you should get your share of the equity if you move out earlier. That'd be interesting. There are some concepts that are like that, Bread Please. Please remember to about rating Tina too. Stream today they're raising. Oh yes, they're still doing the charity. Guys, go check out Tina too. I see so many rich people complain they can't go in and have to take out. They rage so hard. Like what? So Congress exercises the right to be frustrating, to be extremely frustratingly useless. True. Shout out to Big Balls Bernie for standing up for us yet again. Yeah, I know. Good old Bernie. Seemingly the only one who's trying to get anything. Ah, boo. I mean, it was because of him that we even got the conversation started of any type of direct payments. Even with delivery, restaurants are getting crushed. Yeah, I mean, obviously they don't have the same capacity, but they do have a lifeline. And DoorDash is eating their profits. True. So yeah, this is my big concern. Nobody here took the time to seriously address this issue, and it's gonna come back really, really bad. Hey, Seer, how's it going? Rent money for millions of Americans, including people like Levy's, tied up in wrangling over another relief package. The latest deal included just a quarter of what experts say is needed. Just a quarter. But you know where else all that money went to? Like literally anywhere else. I mean, they have like an explosive, unnecessary military budget. They have unnecessary hundreds of millions of dollars going to things that don't need to be right now. And maybe local businesses should have started a co-op if they didn't want to bear the entire risk burden. True. Well, this particular government definitely mismanaged. Because it seems like other countries figured it out and doing, you know, not perfect, but they're doing better than us. I mean, even in some places in Europe, they managed. They somehow miraculously found a way to bail out the people, right? So how's the situation for the average Joe who lost his job during COVID right now? How does the unemployment pay work? Can someone explain? First of all, you have to apply for unemployment and hope you get it. And as of right now, the deal is you get the unemployment. You get X amount, and now you get an extra 300 on top of that. Mismanaged and terrible welfare spending, which is over 50% of it, completely fine. Just wait, what are you talking about? Welfare spending? Because X amount meaning like I think it's based on your paycheck. What are you talking about? Welfare spending? Are you like, do you have like did you take like 2 seconds to Google? Safety net programs, about 8% of the federal budget in 2019, or 360 billion supported programs that provide aid other than health insurance or social security benefits to individuals and families facing hardship. You're making the claim, so you should probably bring that up. In Maryland, the max is 430, right? So you would get 300 plus of that. So you're just making random claims? Oh, this guy was a learn to code. Oh, this guy was the same. Okay. Yeah, like that doesn't even make sense on the that doesn't even make sense on the face. So I mean, you're welcome to disprove that claim, or sorry, prove the claim. He who makes the claim should provide the evidence to back it up. Otherwise, you're just talking nonsense. Everyone should be a coder. Hey, thanks for the gifted tier 1 sub. I appreciate that, Madame Defarge. Wait, socialized healthcare isn't socialism. Wait, do you think do you think do you think the UK is socialist because they have a universal healthcare system? Do you think Canada is socialist because they have a universal healthcare? Dude, are you okay, buddy? I know you had like some issues yesterday. You have like, did you take like did you take the time to read it or find out what the definitions of these things are, or do you just randomly spew out stuff that is in your head? Get onto the QAnon article. Oh yeah. Every country in the world is socialist except the US. Correct. Correct. Are you having trouble with nuance? So like, in other words, socialism is like when the government does something, right? Is that your definition? Because as you called me small, it seems like you're having an issue with, I guess, definitions. Hey folks, socialism is when the government does something. Yeah, the weekends are communist. Is there a system where socialized programs provide things? Nope, that's not it either. How embarrassing. Hey, Vanilla Bean, how's it going?
Socialism is when the government does stuff.
True.
And it's more socialism
True.
the more stuff it does.
True.
And if it does a real lot of stuff, it's communism.
True. True. So okay, I'll play good faith just for a quick second. The actual political theory of socialism, generally speaking, means when the actual workers own the means of production. So, for example, if I am a part owner of my means of production, that is socialism, right? So, for example, this stream, I own the means of my production, right? I own the laptop to produce. I own the microphone to produce. I own the camera to produce. I own the means of my production. Okay, that's how that's the difference between socialism and whatever you're trying to say. The only reason I'm messing around with you, Seer, is because you're not really giving me any points, and all you're doing is just spewing random nonsense. What do you talk? Do you even know the definition of capitalism? Yeah, you can own the means of production under capitalism. What are you talking about? I own the means to produce this content. To give you an idea. Except the platform is owned by the richest people in the world, true. But like, I'm just trying to give you an idea of what socialism is. What revolution? What are you talking about? Are you okay? It seems like you're a little bit unhinged. You see, you don't even know. You don't even know what socialism is. I thought you needed a revolution to own the means of your production. What? You don't even know what you're talking about. You're just randomly spewing nonsense. You do realize there's other means of attaining the socialism, right? You're thinking of communism. No, you don't. You can actually do things with not necessarily creating revolutions. You can do things like worker co-ops. Look at that, local farm co-ops. Look at that. So you see, you're just showing your ignorance, right? So you're saying that socialism is capitalism? Nope, that's a pivot. Not saying anything like that. I'm saying that you can have systems where you can have systems in place that are actual socialistic in nature by, for example, worker co-ops. The worker co-ops, you're having the workers own the means of their own production, right? That's there you go. You did a socialism. Make a worker co-op where the workers own the means of production. There you go. You did a socialism. Congratulations. I don't know if he's a right winger, left winger, troll. He's just like spewing out nonsense. But hey, it's okay. It's all good. You do realize you're just basically a lol cow adding to my analytics at this point, right? But yeah, it's kind of sad. Admitting that you own the means to production under capitalism. Yeah, so I'm technically doing. I'm actually doing more of a socialism. If you want to think of it that way. Admitting that you own the means of production under capitalism. That's not how. This is some low tier logic, right? So I live in this system. So therefore, what? It's okay. One day you'll grow up, my friend. You're not sending their best. Twitch, the socialist incubator. I'm down with it. The QAnon article. That's right. The fight is in the battleground of ideas. Brought to you by Dave Rubin. QAnon is winning that one. Alright, the QAnon article. Alright, I'm done playing with the troll. On to actual real news. Even if it's bonkers, poll finds that many believe QAnon and other conspiracy theories. A significant amount of Americans believe misinformation about the oranges of the coronavirus and the recent presidential election, as well as conspiracy theories like QAnon. 43% of respondents say that they believe the coronavirus was made in a lab by China, so there's no evidence for this, of course. Scientists say the virus was transmitted to humans from another species, probably the pangolin. 1/3 of Americans believe that voter fraud helped Joe Biden win the 2020 election, despite the facts that courts, election officials, Justice Department have found no evidence of widespread fraud that could have changed the outcome. The poll results add to mounting evidence that misinformation is gaining a foothold in American society, and the conspiracy theories are going mainstream especially during the coronavirus pandemic. This has raised concerns about how to get people to believe in a baseline of reality. Oh man, I've talked about this. This is beyond wild. True story, fake news. Yeah, sure, whatever, buddy. Hey, Kaz, how's it going? QAnon is just a massive troll. People are eating up the BS. True. The problem with these things being made massive trolls is eventually enough people become consumed by them. No, Sergeant. So basically, okay, so I'll give you the timeline really quickly. So because of people destroying the bat habitat, it seems like what most likely happened is that that bat gave it to an animal in the wet market, most likely a pangolin, which was then transferred to humans. Isn't QAnon just 4chan trolling the boomers? Probably. Who knows? But at this point, it's like, at this point, it's all beyond. Hey, Marcavius, how's it going? That's true. Many strains. Just got new internet streaming again. Ooh, nice. Nice. All right, the poll results add to mounting evidence that misinformation is gaining a foothold in America's society and conspiracy theories are going mainstream, especially during the coronavirus pandemic. This has raised concerns about how to get people to believe in a baseline reality, said Chris Jackson, a poster with Ipsos. This is true. I talked about it. Go to the YouTubes. Increasingly, people are willing to say and believe stuff that fits with their own view of how the world should be, even if it doesn't have any basis in reality or fact. What this poll really illustrates to me is how willing people are to believe things that are ludicrous because it fits in with a worldview that they want to believe. Yeah. It is terrifying. It is terrifying, especially with this whole QAnon nonsense. It's extremely worrisome. I mean, like, how do we, like, ugh. It's pretty beyond ridiculous. Hey, listen, Seer, nobody cares. Holy crap, nobody cares. You made the claim, you didn't provide evidence. And you never answered, why do you need a revolution? Nobody talks, I have not said anything about revolution to change the current system if you can't own the means of production. What are you talking about? Like, actually, legitimately, nobody cares about what you have to say at this point. Like, you're not here to engage in good faith. From the beginning. Like, these are words that you yourself claimed. Show the evidence for your point number one. Point number two, at least me, never talked about needing a revolution to change the current system. And you're the only one who's bringing up any of this. Because they don't understand that capitalism allows you to own the means of production. It does. No, literally, capitalism says that private ownership of means of production is concentrated into fewer and fewer hands. So it's like you don't even know the definition of capitalism. You don't even know the definition of socialism. You don't need like. Why am I even entertaining this? Seer, dude, what rank ringer are you? This guy sounds like just an unhinged person. I don't even know. Anyways, the NPR Ipsos poll of 1,115 U.S. adults was conducted December 21st to 22. The margin of error for overall sample is 3.3 percentage points. One of the most striking polls finding that has to do with QAnon, the baseless conspiracy theory that's gained widespread attention this year as of two of its backers were elected to Congress. Yeah, nice. The poll asked respondents whether they believe that a group of Satan worshipping elites run a child sex ring are trying to control our politics and media, a false allegation at the heart of QAnon. While only 17% said it was true, another 37% said they didn't know. Like, imagine if somebody comes up to you and asks you, like, "Hey, do you believe that there's like a random like group of satanic worshipping elites who run a child sex ring or trying to control our politics?" I would be like, "What? What you sound like a unhinged person." It's total bonkers, yeah, of course. And yet, essentially half of the Americans believe it's true or think that it may be true. They don't really know, and that's terrifying that half of Americans believe that could be the case. According to the poll, 39% of Americans believe another key tenet of the QAnon theory, that there's a deep state working to undermine the President Trump. The president himself is a major source of misinformation as he continues to make baseless claims about election fraud on Twitter and elsewhere. Conservative media have also devoted hours of coverage to exaggerated or debunked claims. True. So I think that like I've already gone over this like a few times, but like you do need a modicum of like objectivity and kind of realize that there's just certain things that are reality. There's just certain things that are reality, right? For example, um, the Earth is round. That is a reality. Hey, thanks for the tier 1 sub, Madame Defarge. It makes no sense. Yeah, I know. It's because it's all nonsense. Giving him a sub makes you participate in capitalism. Well, again, you don't even know the definition of that. Wait. This is so... Oh my god. Are you really including Social Security and Medicare? You do realize those are already... Those are already set aside. You don't... When you fund Social Security, it's already there by the taxes that are designated for it. You do realize like Social Security doesn't take from the federal budget, right? Good time explaining to other leftists why you don't think we need socialized medicine. And what are you talking about? Jesus Christ. Oh, we got... Oh, there we go. But yeah. The trolls have returned. Yeah, exactly, Memmius. That's true. Sweet. Thank you, Heat 420. He's probably an ANCAP. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. ANCAP. Basadabot. Thank you. Right? You buy things? Joke's on you. Oh, hey, do you use a cell phone, Seer? Because I guess that means like you're a communist. Do you use a cell phone that has parts made from China? Ooh. Oh no, do we have a comrade in chat? Is Seer a comrade? Do you use any technology whatsoever that has Chinese parts? Because if you do, ooh, I guess you're part of the CCP. Exactly, Mono. A budget surplus is going to cause an economic contraction. Well, the thing is, it depends on what you spend that money on. Um, it depends on what you spend that money on. Yeah, whatever. I was gonna let him keep farming my analytics, but that's okay. We don't need this distracting the stream. You donate everybody money, doesn't you get mad if we want luxuries? True. But like the point is, like there's no point in engaging with people who are just here to derail the stream. They don't even understand the words capitalism or communism. All right, we're getting through it. We're getting through it. There's just too much information out there, said Brooke Williams, a Republican voter and self-described QAnon follower. Oh man, oh no, self-described QAnon follower from Oro Valley, Arizona, during a follow-up interview with NPR. I can't see how anybody is not thoroughly convinced that Biden was illegally elected. In contrast, only 11% of Democrats think voter fraud helped Biden win. Only 11%. Wow, 93% accepted the outcome. Overall, most respondents said they do want to see a peaceful transition to the Biden administration coming in January, although many worried about political violence over the next 4 years. The vast majority of Americans also said they're worried about the spread of false information, with 4 out of 5 poll respondents saying they're concerned about misinformation related to the coronavirus and vaccines in particular. But Republicans are more likely than Democrats to believe misinformation about the virus, including that it was created in a lab in China and that COVID is no more than a serious threat than a seasonal flu. Yeah. This is bad. This is bad. China created a megavirus to take down the world. Also, it's not a big deal, right? I know. It's wild. Absolutely. I think helping people with basic health care is more important. True. True. How much do you trust each of the following people? Your personal doctor. Huh. Okay. Dr. Anthony Fauci. Oh man. Oh no, no, no. Joe Biden. No. The governor of your state. Yeah, well, our governor sucks. Bill Gates. Oh man. The guy who wants to put microchips in you. Donald Trump. Oh man. Dang, even Elon Musk is like, nope, not nobody. Rachel Maddow. Dang. Tucky. Tucky boy. You can't even get like a good percentage within like Republicans? Jeez. Hey, Kevin St. Jacks, I'm the one guy watching on YouTube. Hey, I appreciate that. Right, that's a good way of thinking about it, Chai Bureaucrat. It's it's a service. Think of it like a service. It's not there to make money, right? It's not there to make money. It's there to provide a service. The government isn't a business. They're not there to um they're not there to make money, or they're not there to necessarily um balance budgets. They're there to do what needs to be done for the country. They tried telling people to trickle down works. Yep. Okay, going back on Twitch. All right. Dang, I don't know, sourcing. I don't know. Yeah, so that's a very good way of putting it. Like the idea that the government is there to quote unquote balance a budget or be run as a business is just not the way it's supposed to be. If Trump actually worked instead of rallies and tweeting and golfing, he might he might have won, yeah. I don't want to support this society. Twitch is better, more comfy. True. True. Maybe the government just needs to skip their Starbucks and avocado toast. True. Oh man, Tucky couldn't even get a majority support, a majority trust in the Republican side. Sad. Thanks for the follow, Sergeant Hoffman. Pollsters say that multiple factors make people more or less susceptible to misinformation, including educational attainment, yeah, media consumption, yeah, and political affiliation, and that people are more likely to believe conspiracy theories that fit into their worldview. For example, almost half of respondents said that the majority of racial justice over the protests were violent. In fact, vast majority were peaceful. Poll respondents from all demographics answered this question incorrectly, but they were more likely to do so if they were Republicans and if they got their news from Fox News or conservative outlets like Breitbart or Daily Caller. True. Recent misinformation held more sway than older conspiracy theories. Oh, 70% correctly answered that humans do play a significant role in climate change, so I guess not all hope is lost, I suppose. I just hate YouTube. I feel you. but 17% answered no, and a bunch more answered that they didn't know. Oh, cringe. My theory is changing the current system and government economy. Is the changing of the the current government economy is the problem, not those who started this years ago. The exact same percentage of people who believe Satan has pedophile elites control society. Ah, man. Yikes. So, in other words, I mean, well, it could also be that, like, it could also be 70% of those people answered that humans do play a significant role in climate change. So I think that a good way of like promoting or getting a better society and build on the stuff that I talk about, you know, making sure people have food, housing, education, and healthcare, is first of all getting people aware of these issues, um, getting people to understand that there's fundamental problems within the system, unsustainable income inequality, that's intertwined to a degree with our unsustainable ecological um, ecological I don't know how to say it, unsustainable ecological practices. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Jeez, can't English today. Unsustainable ecological practices are intertwined, and that I think a large part can be moved in the direction of trying to get, first of all, people organized and understanding the issues, getting labor unions up, um, enticing, encouraging things like worker co-ops, getting the government to work and represent the people would be a start too. Moving to get money out of politics, where corporations are able to create slush funds to elect politicians that will be favorable to them. To a social market, so like social, in other words, like social market socialism. There you go. That's a favorable place to go. I just have a problem with things that people need to live being used as commodities, right? For example, food, housing, education, and healthcare. I just can't I just can't square the circle of somebody's healthcare um, being dependent on whether or not they can afford it. And either way, it's up to us to continue to spread word, continue to organize, continue to educate the people, and see if they can get on your side, to understand that this benefits everybody. This will make us a better place, right? Like having people taken care of, having people having people housed, fed, you know, have access to education, have food, housing, all of these things elevate people. Yeah, but even then, there's still a little bit more. Even then, Astria, I would go just like a little step further. Isn't the U.S. the only wealthy nation that doesn't provide basic healthcare for its citizens? Yeah, embarrassing. That's right, smoldering sheep. Decent universal healthcare is a basic human right because when you are the ones who care about and are dying, all your other rights do not matter to you, right? And like again, you need healthcare. I mean, that's just like I don't know how else to pitch it. It's your health. The U.S. is also the only country to not provide stimulus checks as a as a reoccurring thing. We got 1,200. Um, some of us to live off what this entire 10 months. Like that for all intents and purposes, that was pretty nothing. It was pretty much nothing. And now we might get an extra 600 because that definitely will take care of the months of back rent that's gonna hit once those moratoriums are done. Once all those federal provisions are done, yeah, that's gonna totally be okay. That's almost more offensive than not doing anything, though. Yeah, I'm almost, to be quite honest. To be quite honest, Astro, like, I understand that there's complex electoral procedures, but like, these people are supposed to be representing us, okay? These people are supposed to be representing us, and their priority, ideally, should be the well-being of this country. They're the federal government. They're the federal government that has to deal with the entire country, right? Like, get it? Oh God, this is like so frustrating. Every other wealthy country figured it out somehow. Right, they managed to, at the very least, provide a reoccurring X benefit to their workers to make sure that they stayed home as much as possible. I know that they still got hit hard. I know that it's still they still suffered, but it wasn't to the same degree, right? You don't see these other countries who tried to keep people home as much as possible suffering in the same magnitude that we are, right? I mean, look to our neighbors to the north. I get that, you know, it's not perfect, but they more or less have a completely um, different outcome, right? They didn't have the same widespread pandemic as we do here. In fact, they closed their borders. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Chai bureaucrat. Well, I don't think just unionizing is gonna necessarily bring us home. It is a piece of the puzzle, right? Um, it is a piece of the puzzle. Absolutely, people should be unionizing. Unions should be a norm, not like an exception, and it shouldn't be stigmatized. Um, union memberships, union numbers needs to be up. I mean, what is the statistic? Like 10% of the U.S. workforce is unionized. That needs to be way more because then labor will have actual power rather than rather than none. Um, I also think that us organizing um, and getting actual information out there is important. Is important. Hey, Roland, how's it going? Just make a party. Well, you need to also move into a democratic system, like a ranked choice voting, before we can get like a third party really going. Yeah, absolutely. Strikes can be a great tool to use, 100%. So, but in order for us to like do that, is we need to destigmatize and encourage unions. The rich is brainwashed to work for sex workers. Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, I mentioned the word unions at one of my jobs, and they gave me a side eye. Everybody was like, "What? What are you talking about?" Uh, it almost felt like saying a dirty word. Mexico has 21 days to pay for the wall. Is this another person who's high on the copium? Dude, this seer person is absolutely insufferable. Absolutely insufferable. Strike can't just pop up. It will take time. Most Americans cannot survive a week without pay. Most Americans have an unfavorable opinion of unions. Right. That's what I'm saying, sourcing. We gotta really build that labor up. Make a party that doesn't ban any legal view and has a single mission statement. No rest until every American has what they need to survive and prosper. Um yes, that would be lovely, and I would support that. We need to make a third party viable, and I think that if you want to make a third party viable, you got to get like some type of ranked choice voting. Next time, but unions collect their membership fees to pay for you if you need to go on strike. So yeah, like obviously, but you need to make sure that you can get as I said before, destigmatize and encourage people to form unions. It's extremely difficult. The heck? Okay. Did an ad seriously run? Anyways. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. Might be. I'll wait for the ads to finish. Okay, so for the last minute, sorry about that. But so you need to destigmatize unionship, right? You need to make it a thing. Right, but that's so much more. That's so difficult to do, Polymorpheus, because like you have people pointing fingers at each other. Although that is what I want to do. That is what I want to do. I want to rally people who, even if they don't necessarily agree with me, I want them to sit here and listen to what I have to say and question what is going on. And hopefully, if they realize that there's significant problems that are not being addressed, and that people do indeed deserve food, housing, education, and healthcare, because if you want to again think of it in a hyper individualistic manner, this is the best way to elevate the individual. I think that people can be moved over. But even if there's no clear prescription for what to do about it, I mean, the only thing that we can do is like us as individuals, us as individuals have a responsibility to post whatever articles that we are and to vet what we post, right? Try to fact check what we post. Jeez, they're outlawed in your country? Yikes. Alright, somebody, Alio got the cute animal video. Let's look one up. Hit me up, YouTube. Find me a cute animal video. Come on. Cute animal video. Oh. I can't do any, I can't do any, sound because I don't know if DMCA will get me. But, there you go. Enjoy. We need unions bad, so we need progressives to take the lead. What we need is a national walkout, and then you would see the corporations react. Yeah, but to get people to be on board with that is like the idea, right? Like, man, you would have to organize people, and you would have to get people to be on board with saying that there is something better. We can do better, right? You deserve better. Your family deserves better. Let's do it. Let's get people healthcare. Don't you think that that's an extremely important talking point? I'm pretty sure it is. People need healthcare. So let's get that conversation started within our community. I think it's something that people would be more and more on board with, right? I mean, what about housing? Do you think people need secure housing, a roof over their head? Yeah, of course. Anybody would tell you, without like, just politics aside, if you ask a person, do you believe that people should have a roof over their head? A lot of people would say yes, I imagine. This is how you can get people. Food is a no-brainer. Food is a no-brainer. People need to eat. I mean, what else is there to say about that? Bernie said all these things: unions, Medicare for all, Green New Deal, but then the machine, Pelosi, Obama, and Clinton stopped that train. Right. So, we can't. So the idea would be to get more support for this to the point where it's unignorable. To the point where you can't ignore it. Universal healthcare is difficult to implement without mass educating educators and then mass educating medical staff. So I don't think that we can. I don't think that it would be exactly like the implementation of a universal healthcare system. I don't think would be so much out of the realm of possibilities. I just don't think that it's that difficult, right? I think it can happen. It's just a matter of where do we want to redirect our priorities, right? That's basically it. Where do we want to redirect our priorities? And and how bad do we want to actually represent the people, right? But we can't get two people to agree. That's also true. Lots of countries with universal healthcare have shortages and delayed treatment. I mean, I don't really buy that. Maybe like countries like, for example, like Costa Rica, but if you go to any of the top countries with the best healthcare, they're all universal. They're all single payer. Like, I don't know what the argument is. I don't know what the argument would be here. I just don't buy the notion that oh yeah. All right. That's true. I keep forgetting. Dixie. Okay, so hold on. I'm in the US and have really good insurance. I still have to wait for treatments and medications, even with really good insurance that you're paying for. Listen, I have friends right now who are literally just now meeting their deductible towards the end of the year. How sad is that? How sad is that you've been paying premiums this entire year? You've been paying for your treatments because you didn't meet your deductible until the end of the year. So in other words, the insurance did fuck all. I live in America. The care I get isn't fast or cheap. If it's going to be slow, at least I want it to be affordable. Right. And yeah, I mean, incredible. So not only are you not getting the double quality for the twice the double essentially like you paid twice as much as you really should. um Not only does that not happen, but you don't even get like twice the quality of healthcare, right? And you don't even get like an extra for it. I had a good friend from high school who's a doctor, moved to Canada because it's so much easier to help people. Wow. Just an anecdote. But I'm in Canada. No one in my family has ever needed to wait long before getting medical care. Right, I've heard this story more. I've heard this story plenty of times, Memius, where, um, people in Canada or people who have a more universal healthcare system, the wait isn't really like that bad. Okay, of course there are some people who experience waits, I'm sure, but the overall majority of people are very, very happy. Um, it's just easy as that. I take the same medication every month for a pituitary tumor. No pharmacy in my county or the 3 adjacent counties can reliably get it in. I quit taking it for a month so that I could have a cushion for when I can get it, where I can't get it. Wow, that shouldn't be a thing. Was that a group of snow camels? I don't know. I kind of drifted off for a second there, paying attention to chat. Whoa! Oh no, poor doggy. Yes, baby raccoons. I like how you can't see U.S. Republicans see the Christian ideals in a socialized healthcare. Yeah, it's a big meme. They don't actually care about the morals. Inconsistent. Don't worry, Zeke. I'll remember to do the song thingy. Okay. So we do got a few more articles to go through. So yes, QAnon conspiracies are really popular in the US for some weird reason, and I share this concern. I'm concerned to see many people living in false reality, seeing relatives honestly believe that there's some kind of rigged election, said William Street, who lives in northern Mississippi. It terrifies me that people can be misled and believe conspiracy theories like that. I'm concerned that even just with a little prodding from this man in office, they could be led to do very desperate things. Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? Stochastic terrorism. This is embarrassing. That's right. I also have to drive an hour to see a specialist that I can't afford. I just don't see this, so I just don't see the specialist. The U.S. healthcare system is garbage. True. Oh my god. Oh yeah. Yes. That's the takeaway from this story. Speaking of conspiracy theories, Louisiana congressman-elect dies after battling COVID. This was a person who won his election, not exactly in any type of vulnerable group, and he got it, and within a couple of days he passed away. So again, please take this seriously. It doesn't matter if you it doesn't matter if you are a congressman elect. It doesn't matter if you're just a regular person and school teacher. It doesn't matter if you're young. It doesn't matter if you're old. This has been an unprecedented uh, pandemic, and there's people who have comorbidities that have survived. There's people who have been completely healthy that just dropped dead. This is another example. Letlow was set to be sworn in as a U.S. representative for the state's northeastern 5th Congressional District January 3rd. Letlow announced that he contracted COVID December 18th and was hospitalized a day later. He kept his followers updated of his condition on social media. Days before his death, he was in ICU in intensive care at St. Francis Medical Center in Monroe, Louisiana. Was later transferred to Ochsner LSU Health in Shreveport. Which Bausch, I don't know, shared in a statement December 23rd that Letlow was in a stable condition. He was receiving remdesivir and steroids as part of his treatment, which already indicates that this is not good. But Letlow's condition worsened in recent days. Letlow, who is 41, was survived by his wife, Julia Barnhill Letlow, and two young children, according to a statement from Bosch shared on social media. Letlow previously served 6 years as the chief of staff for his predecessor, Representative Ralph Abraham, according to New Orleans Public Radio. He began his career in politics, working for former Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal. Congressman-elect felt a calling from a young age to serve people in his home state. Yeah, so again, please take this seriously. It doesn't matter if you think you're, younger or healthy, or don't think that you're in the vulnerable age group. It doesn't matter, okay? The whole point is for me to illustrate that you should be taking this seriously. The guy was 41, right? Is that true? 41. The guy was 41, okay? And he died from COVID in a matter of days, just like that. Boom. Breaker used video about Jesus being a capitalist is a good example of how they just ridiculous ways they justify their actions. True. Actually, very true, Giga Homie. So yeah, please take this seriously. This is not a hoax. Alright, so we got kind of carried away by a very special troll who decided to visit us today. But Mnuchin summed to start seeing $600 on Tuesday night. Wow, already. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said Tuesday that distribution of 600 stimulus checks was about to begin, with some Americans seeing direct deposits soon as Tuesday night. Mnuchin said in a series of tweets that the Treasury has delivered a payment filed to the Federal Reserve. Paper checks will be mailed out beginning Wednesday, with overall distribution continuing into the next week. Americans will also be able to check their status on their stimulus payment online beginning later this week. Americans earning up to 75K will qualify for the 600 direct payments, which are phased out at higher income levels, and there's an additional 600 payment per dependent child. So yeah, keep an eye out, and it seems like so far that's what probably we're gonna get. Yes, that's right, Digzy. Ben did say he already got it. So yes, you get an extra 600. Keep an eye out for that 75K a year number. They didn't keep the 2K bill. Nope, the Senate tanked it. The Senate torpedoed it. You can thank Mitch McConnell for that one. What they're gonna try to do, which I was like molding about earlier, what they're gonna try to do is fit it in with Section 230 repeals and establishment of committee on voter fraud. So yeah, the 2000 bill, you can pretty much like disregard it. It's not most likely not going to happen. The Trump tax cut in 2017 made it so that starting in 2021, people making under 75K a year their tax will increase. Oh, cool. Nice meme. I'm still pissed about the kids 17 and up because, college students don't have money, right? Don't cost money to have, right? Exactly. And increasing more in 2023. In 2023, wow. Nice, progressively increasing the taxes to the poor. I've heard of it. Yes. I'm hoping that that people are very aware of this, right? Can you imagine 330,000 million dead, millions infected, out of jobs, and capitalism goes on? It's almost like he knew he wouldn't be reelected. Yeah, man of the people, ladies and gentlemen, man of the people. Yeah. So yeah, we kind of brushed this over. Cool. It's like it's like we never learn. It's like we never learn. It's like we never learn. Oh, wow. Dang, I didn't even notice this one. South Florida cities won't enforce New Year's curfew. Cool. Hey, everybody, party on. Nothing to see here. I made edibles for the first time and they're slapping me hard. Nice. Oh, glad you guys could help each other. Very cool. Trump Trump thought everyone loved him. Yep. Made some booter and woke up and made cinnamon toast. Nice. Wonder if they'll give it to my late hubby again. He's only lost him in 2018, and they say I live in the past. I'm sorry to hear that. Booter. Yep, you can use it for whatever. Toast, cooking. Yep, that's right, Madame Defarge. You can use it for pasta. Anything you want to cook with a little extra something something. Folks, if you live and folks, if you're planning to have like these very large gatherings, please don't. Please don't. Like, it's clear that the authorities don't really care or not interested in doing anything, um, as shown here. Please just do what the healthcare professionals are advising, which currently consists of um, social distancing, wear your mask, um, don't have large gatherings, um, and wash your hands. And if you can stay home, please do so. There's no reason for you guys to like head out in the tune of millions at airports, right? Like there's just no reason for that. TSA has uh, processed. I don't know what the correct word would be. 1 point something million people this holiday season for Christmas. Please don't be that person. Super spreaders, exactly. Please don't be that person. To be fair, to be honest, New Year's Eve party are always mediocre at best. I mean, like just hang tight, all right? Just you and the fam, all right? Just hang tight, you and the fam, and be chill. You know, I work New Year's Eve, so don't go to parties during a pandemic. Who would have thought that that was a message that actually needed to be said? Yeah, I constantly stress this. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Memius. Um, I constantly stress this because like I see people, and especially listening to people who are on the front lines, like like Doc Midnight, um, like Doc Midnight, be stressed out and overworked, and you know, people just don't get it. Are you from New York? Nope. New Year's Eve is going to be lit. I'm putting the kids early. I'm putting the kids to bed early and eating all the snacks until I pass out. There you are. Yeah, I would do that. Now compare that to our system. Shoot, I don't think I have enough time to play it, but we'll try to get through it. Hello?
Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business.
Oh, yeah.
Control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls.
True.
They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want.
Yep. True. All right, folks, I do gotta get going here. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate all of you hanging out here. Red Bean as a child, true, is based sometimes. Yeah, I mean, I think so. All right, folks, we're gonna head on over to Tina's channel. They're doing a charity stream, so please go show some support. Thank you guys. I will be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys so much for the monumental support. Thank you for the gifted subs, Grolum. Thank you for the thank you for the gifted sub, Bleep Blop Ben and Madame Defarge. I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. As always, please take care of each other. Be safe. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next stream. See ya. All right, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.